Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Also happy Easter. I didn't work on my 3D stuff over Easter. I hung out with my family instead. So I am back this week after Easter. I worked on I finished the entrance part of the mansion. Again, this is part of the set that I want to create for the current animation I'm doing. There will be a few background buildings, and one of them is a mansion. The other idea is that I make this with multiple different pieces in mind, so that I can mix and match them, change them up, and I have different building pieces that I can rearrange for a mansion kind of building. I've started with the entrance, but I didn't finish it last time, and what I had to do was make the windows. So I took to Stable Diffusion again, and I had it make a few images of Art Deco windows, which I didn't like that much, and I then made Art Nouveau windows, which I did like very much. This was what I was actually looking for between the two. So I took one of them, you can see it in the side, and used it as reference material. I basically copied the base shape, and then I copied a bit here and there from the whole thing. And yeah, first I made the frame. As you can see, the frame was relatively thick until I noticed that this would probably look a bit weird. And yeah, basically just made sure that there is no clipping with the back wall. So I'm trying to build the whole set in multiple pieces, and I will go back to the animation and do this in between. This is gonna be a switch between making 3D models and actually rendering. Even though this piece has some steps, basically has a staircase, I will not put it as part of the animation, so the animation will be in the foreground of this. This will be way in the back. I thought about adding this to the animation, have them go up and down the stairs, but in the end I would have to put this in Cascadeur, and then make sure that it actually is referenced as something that the characters can step on for the fulcrum points of the feet. And also I thought this is a bit too much work for this time, and I'm going to do this in a future animation. But yeah, after I finished with the main window frame, I basically built the whole, I called it a cage. I think it's like some similar to a stained glass window, some kind of smaller frame that holds the different windows, and different as in real life, I can just put a big frame behind this. But yeah, this is only in the central windows. Basically, the side windows are free. And yeah, I took the inspiration from the original, actually painted the glass green, as you can see in the render at the side. Here's a little thing. One thing that you have to do if you have this kind of form, you have to make sure that it that the edges don't yeah, flare basically. So you can see this at some of these parts, that when you rearrange them, like here, they tend to flare. And if you add edges, if you add just in general yeah, edges and and points, it stops flaring so much, because there is more reference for the smoothing. So the smoothing is actually the thing that makes the whole thing flare and look a bit weird from time to time. You can see this in the frame of the window relatively good, because whenever there's a corner, the edges tend to flare out a bit. And this is something that I tried to reduce as much as possible. Yeah, I also try to give the frame a bit more depth, a bit more detail, so it doesn't look that, yeah, boring, that flat. But it is just the background details, so I didn't do that much. Also, I actually had to work on this twice in this yesterday, simply because when I first made this, and when I first rendered this for the other render, I basically just had textures on the door. I didn't have text. I had some texture on the railing, but the main building actually didn't have any texture reference. And I forgot about that. So when I exported this and I made the first render, I noticed that I missed a few pieces that I couldn't color in. So I had to go back and actually redo the whole thing. Yeah, I did the frame for the upper window, and then I thought about what I want to do on the top window, which isn't really a window, it's more like in front of the stone, but I actually wanted to do this, so I just copy pasted the frame and edited it a bit with the extrusion tool, basically just some basic extrusion to give this a bit more detail that yeah, tends to stay in line with the rest of the whole thing. Yeah. And that is almost everything I did. Last thing I had to do is the window pane, and I could have maybe made smaller smaller squares here for the whole thing, but it works just fine. I also added some curtains behind this. Basically, since you can see through the windows, if I have nothing behind, you would just see like the background for the whole animation, which will be sky. So I wanted to make sure that you can't see through this that much, which is why I added the curtains, and also which is why I colored the glass in the end, because you can see something through it, but you cannot see too much detail through it. Finally, I put on all the UV maps, as you can see, and then yeah, UV maps for the different pieces was relatively simple. It's actually interesting, but I kind of deleted the window pane, so the glass, for some reason. Like when I exported, it didn't show up, so I had to do it again, but that was a very simple thing. And yeah, then I basically copy pasted the whole window a few times. Noticed that I forgot to edit the second window opening here. And yeah. That's the whole thing. That's what I did. So yeah, first piece of the set is finished. The second piece should be relatively quick. So I hope, or I think I can do the next pieces in the next video. Or in one of the next videos. Until then, stay healthy, stay safe, enjoy the final render, and I'll see you guys in the next one.